Hello and welcome to another tutorial for users of Microsoft Excel. I just wanted to show you a couple of functions that are related to the if function that I think you might find useful. Certainly if you're doing tests at school, this may well come up. Those two functions are the COUNTIF function and the SUMIF function. Do slightly different things, but I'll go through them here and hopefully explain what they do. As you can see, I've got my original Fred's Video Classics spreadsheet up here, and what I would like to have happen is I've got a couple of new labels down here, and I'm interested in any film that goes above 12 rentals. And I've got two boxes here I want results to go in. One of them will simply tell me how many films have gone above 12 rentals, and the other box will tell me how much money those films have made. For example, I've got The Godfather there at 18 rentals, and that's generated £35.10. Okay, so if that was the only one that had gone above 12, then 18 would go into the total cell and £35.10 would go into the revenue cell. Obviously I've got three that have gone above 12 here, and what I would like to have happen in the revenue cell is these values adding up. So every time it finds a match for anything above 12, it adds the income for that film to my revenue total down below. It'll make more sense when I put these formulas together. Okay, so we'll do the first one, the COUNTIF, which will simply count how many films have gone above 12 rentals. So the function is equals COUNTIF. And now if you're using a version of Excel 2002 or above, as soon as you type the open bracket, you'll get the little help dialog there, or help box. Tooltip, I think they call it. And it simply there asks me for the range that I'm interested in, and the range of cells is C3 down to C8. In other words, the values that contain the rental numbers, or the cells that contain the rental values would make more sense. Okay, type a comma to separate the range from the criteria, and obviously what I'm going to do here is type in greater than 12, but the important thing is I have to put it between quotes. So I'm going to type open quote, greater than 12, close quote. If I don't do that, Excel will throw up an error message. I'm going to close the bracket and click on the tick, and we get the correct result, which is 3. Okay, so that's all it is. If you look at the formula bar, equals COUNTIF, open bracket, the range where the values that you're interested in are, and the second part after the comma is the criteria. Is it equal to a value, less than a value, greater than a value, etc. You can also match it to pieces of text. For example, I could be looking for the name Fred in a list of names, for instance, so you can use all sorts of different criteria. In the revenue cell then, coming back to C17, I want to actually add up what those three movies have made me, so I'm going to type in equals SUMIF. In other words, sum up some numbers if those numbers reach a certain criteria and match a certain criteria. So I've got three items you'll see on my tooltip. It wants the range, the criteria, and then the sum range. So the range is the same as previously, which is the rental values. Type a comma. The criteria, again, greater than 12, so between quotation marks, greater than 12, comma again, and finally the sum range. The sum range can actually be the same range of cells that I had initially selected, but in this case I want to look at the income values. Okay, so anytime a rental value goes above 12, I want it to add up the corresponding cell in the income column. Okay, close the bracket, because that completes the function. Click on the tick, and we get the revenue £105.30. Now I can obviously test that by manually adding things up, or I can check it's working by maybe changing one of the values here. So I'm going to move Citizen Kane from 12 to 13, and if you take a look at those two new result cells, you to see them jump up when I press the enter key, and my total rental or total movies goes to 4, and the revenue goes to £124.80. which indicates that the functions are working. Okay, now I'm going to delete those out, and I'm going to redo them by using the paste function feature. Now in Excel 2002 you can either click on the drop down arrow where the sum button is and go to more functions, or you can go to the insert menu and choose function, which I'm going to do here. And I'm looking for the COUNTIF function. Now it happens to be in the statistical functions, which I'm in now, so I'm going to scroll down till I get to COUNTIF. We've got count A, count blank, COUNTIF, there we are, and click OK. And again it's asking me for the two bits of information, the range and the criteria. The range is the cells in the C column there, C3 down to C8, and the criteria is greater than 12. Now if you use the paste function dialog, you don't need to type in the quotes. Excel will put those in for you automatically. So those are two bits of the function. When I click OK, it brings me back the correct value, which is 4, and if you look at the formula bar, you'll see that Excel has put in the quotation marks before and after the greater than 12 bit. Okay, I'll do the same thing on the revenue. So click where I want the result to go and go into insert function, and this time let's say I've got no idea where this function is in this list. I happen to know it's actually in the maths and trigonometry section. However, imagine you didn't know that. You can simply type in the function name SUMIF, click go, and Excel will find the function for you, which is pretty useful, especially given that Excel does have hundreds of different functions built into it. So click OK there, we get the dialog, and now it's asking for 3 bits of information. The range, again, you'll know is the same range was selected previously in the rentals column. The criteria we know is greater than 12 in this case. The sum range, I just need to move that dialog slightly, is in the income column, B3 to B8, and it actually, as you know, in the function, the paste function dialog gives us the actual result of the formula before we click OK, just so we can test it's alright. Click OK there, and there we get the result. So that is a quick look at two very useful functions, COUNTIF and SUMIF. Hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.